2, 1.
Good evening, colleagues. Welcome to the March meeting of the Standards Committee. You're all very welcome. Lovely to see all those happy, smiling faces. Be even nicer to see them in the flesh, and that may be approaching, shall we say. Maybe not as fast as some of us would like, but anyway. So welcome indeed. Apologies in advance if I seem to be forever putting my glasses on and taking them off. I had an eye operation last Friday. I'm having the other one done next Friday. So at the moment, every time I put my glasses on, I feel like I want to take them off again, and then as soon as I've taken them off, I want to put them back on again. So apologies if I do. Right, Mr. Clark, would you do the roll call and the virtual explanation, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Chris Ash-Edwards.
Present.
Councillor Alison Bennett.
Present.
Councillor Liz Bennett.
We have apologies.
Councillor Pete Bradbury.
Yeah, present.
Councillor Rod Clark.
Present.
Councillor Douglas Denham-Pinnock.
Present.
Councillor Anne Eves.
Present.
Councillor Karen Healy. I understand she's on her way. Councillor Sam Smith.
Present.
And Councillor Baron von Thunderclap.
Present.
And independent persons, Paul Cummings.
Present.
David Horn.
Present.
And Wendy Swindon Eagle.
And I can see Councillor Healy is back with us.
Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened there. I've been panicking trying to get back in. Yes, sorry, present. Good evening.
And Councillor Wendy Swindon Eagle. I can see her.
No, I think she's frozen.
She's frozen, yeah. This meeting is being conducted under the virtual regulations 2020 from April. They are due to expire on the 6th of May. There was talk about them being extended, but as the chairman indicated in his opening remarks, we might be back in person at our next meeting. It's possible. At the moment, members control their own microphones, are called to speak when the chairman asks them to. And under our Zoom arrangements, we now have for and against buttons back, and we also have the raised hand button. Hopefully all of you have got that. There was an upgrade, which then we lost the buttons, but now we've got them back. At the end of the meeting, if you could stay in place while the live streaming is turned off, and then obviously we can leave the meeting. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. So let's move on then. So item 2 is to receive apologies for absence. I know we've got apparent apologies from Councillor Liz Bennett, who is attending to an urgent requirement from a constituent. So I sent her apologies just at quite short notice. Have we got any? I think everyone else is here, aren't they? Yep. Okay. So item 3, there's no items of urgent business. And so item 4 is to receive declarations of interest. Mr. Clark, do I need to give one as a member of West Sussex County Council because of the Code of Conduct discussion?
No, I don't think so, Chairman. The Code of Conduct discussion isn't on the agenda anyway this evening. It's just in the minutes.
Okay. Anyone else got any declaration of interest? Take that as a no. So item 5 is to confirm the minutes of the last meeting of the committee, which was on the 18th of January. Are those minutes agreed, colleagues?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I need to take a show? Do I need to take a vote, Mr. Clark? Okay, so I'm advised we need to do a formal vote to adopt the minutes. So can you use the voting buttons on, I'm not sure where they are now. Oh yeah, so if you go to reactions, that should then give you a green tick or a red cross. So I can see everyone's found that. I think we've got agreement on those now.
I don't have access to those buttons, but I'm okay with the minutes.
Is that Baron?
Yeah. I'm afraid I've got none of these buttons or anything on my display.
Okay. I'm advised we're going to take any votes from you verbally.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Can I just say on the matter of the minutes, I know one of the things that we discussed at some length last time was whether we wanted to reinforce the. So who can we mute whoever that is that we can hear background noise? Thank you. Thank you. So so there was a discussion about about reinforcing the code of conduct brought forward by Councillor Denham St Pinnock in respect of social media, and particularly, you know, abuse and lack of manners on social media. We did say at the time we would postpone that discussion to the next meeting while we were awaiting the guidance from the government in respect of the code of conduct. Unfortunately, although that was due to be received before this meeting, I now understand it's not and it isn't going to be published until sometime in April, or that's the latest draft information, the latest information that we've got. So I'm intending to take that discussion once we've got that advice. So I hope that's okay. And we you know, it's not forgotten. We will come to it, but I think it's good to have the full picture before we make a decision on it. So move on then to, if I may, colleague, to item 6, which is the just the main substantive item. That's the Standards Committee annual report, and I'll go to Mr. Clark to take us through that.
Thank you, Chairman. As the report confirms, we spent quite a lot of time on a possible new code of conduct, but as you've said, the final guidance on the published code won't be available until April, so it seems sensible to have that before we look at it again. The year has in fact been busier than most of our years for Standards Committee work, and the appendix outlines the various matters that have come to me and to the independent persons for consideration. They've been quite wide and varied, and I'm not sure the Zoom meetings have always been helpful, but I would say that our parishes and towns do seem to have managed to do them with rather more success than has happened in other places. So a busy year, Chairman, and a whole list of various complaints that have been dealt with. Members will probably think the penalties available to us are quite limited. The number 5 from East Grimsby Town Council, it seems most unfortunate we haven't been able to take any firmer action than is shown there, which is basically the Town Council trying to debate this matter with a member not willing to really take part. So I leave it to the discussion, Chairman.
Thanks very much, Mr. Clark. So, colleagues, can you use the raise hand function, please, to let me know if you want to ask a question or make a comment? That includes the independent members, by the way. You're very welcome to question or comment. Can I say how pleased I am to see all 3 of you present, by the way. Mr. Horn. You need to, yes.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chairman. I think it's a very fair annual report as it's crafted, and I just wanted to raise 2 points. The first is that normally this committee does provide training, certainly to members of the district council, and of course with the exceptional circumstances of the year just gone, that's not been possible. So I wondered if it was possible just to refer to that because of COVID and pandemic, we weren't able to provide the normal training opportunities that it's, I think, the custom of this committee. And the second point, Chairman, was a very small one. I mean, Tom rightly refers to the volume of complaints about members, and these are detailed in the appendix. But I did wonder if it could be put into context by, firstly, the number of district council members that there are, but more awkwardly, the number of potential town and parish council members. And that might put that volume of complaints in the context of the overall numbers of councillors. It's not a perfect science, this, because people would have arrived and left during the year, but some indication of volumes, I think, may be useful. They're my comments, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clark, have you anything to respond to on that?
No, I think the training difficulties are a fair comment. I off the top of my head, it's about 1/3 district and the rest are town and parish.
Okay, I think it may be worth just putting a note in that no training has been possible this year because of the because of course the training normally is very interactive, and that would be, I think it would be quite hard to organise in this, in this format. But then perhaps later on in the year, when hopefully, as I said, we might be able to to meet in person. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Then perhaps then we can bring in a training session then. If not, then I suspect it'll have to wait till next year. Any other comments or questions, colleagues? No. Okay. Can I take it then that with the addition of those 2 points that Mr. Horn has brought up, that the Standards Committee annual report is agreed? I think we're happy to leave it to Mr. Clark to just do the wording on those two items, aren't we? Do I need a show of hands for a formal vote for this again? Yeah, so I'm advised we need to vote with voting buttons. So if you could please show if you're in favour or against the report, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, in favour.
Yeah, Baron von Thunderclap.
Yeah, I'm in favour. That's okay. Yeah.
That you're in favour, Baron?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so that's 9 in favour. Have we got any against? No, none against. Okay, that's approved then, and that will go to the next meeting of the District Council. When will that be? Is that the meeting next week? It's going to.
It's the 31st of March, Chairman.
31st of March. Okay, thank you. Right. There's no questions on under item 7, so it just remains for me to thank you all for your attendance. It's been a very short meeting, but that's the best way to have it. I always say with this committee that when it's not got much to do, that's a sign that things are going well. So thank you all for your support anyway. So if I could just remind you just to stay in your seats for a few moments when the meeting finishes, just for the purposes of the public webcast. Thank you very much. And meeting closed at, shall we say 15:15?